Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia has been on the calendar for over 30 years now, and it has served up some classics. Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari in 1996 in the rain. We have much better weather here today for the Spanish Grand Prix. Race day, it's going to be a thriller. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Naomi Schiff. Well, this is the most advanced sport anywhere on the planet. How's it changed since you were last racing?
It is certainly an interesting time in this set of regulations because, as you know, when a new set of regulations come out, everything changes and you always wonder who's got it right. Well, we know that Red Bull are the ones who really got it right the last couple of years. But now you can see the rest of the grid slowly start to catch up, and there's really only so much left for Red Bull to get out of these regulations. So it is interesting, and the pack are catching up.
Hi guys, and a very warm welcome to the Spanish Grand Prix here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. The sun is shining, the grandstands are absolutely packed, and we are gearing up for what could be a pivotal race in the championship fight. All eyes today are on our driver starting down in P9, looking to close that gap to Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. It hasn't been the easiest qualifying session, but this grid position puts them right in the thick of the midfield battle. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of overtaking chances, especially on the long run to turn 1. And it's lights out and away we go in Barcelona. A brilliant launch from the front of the grid. Verstappen already covering the inside. But look at our driver from P9. That is a rocket of a start. They're pulling alongside Alonso, now the Williams. 3, wide down the main straight as we charge towards turn 1.
Yes, that's a fantastic from Hamilton.
Oh wow, look at that! That is a massively late-braking move from Lewis Hamilton on Carlos Sainz, but he's run out of road.
Yes, that was a bit too ambitious from Lewis. He saw the gap, but it was always going to close. Once one wheel touches the grass, you're a passenger. Sainz very calmly just let him slide by and then repassed him on the switchback.
Now on to lap 2 we go, and Hamilton is right back on the tail of Sainz after that wild exchange on the opening lap. He's got the slipstream, he's got the momentum. Hamilton gets a great run out of turn 1 and sweeps around the outside of Sainz into turn 3. That's a brave move. Sainz is squeezing, but Hamilton is absolutely determined to make that stick. And now Hamilton is inside his teammate Leclerc, but Leclerc holds the outside line. Now they drop down to the tight left-hander. Again, side by side, but Hamilton gets better traction and passes his teammates. Great driving from both drivers.
Lovely racing that, hard but fair. And now, we ride on board with the 7-time world champion, Lewis Hamilton, fresh from that brilliant move around the outside of his teammate. Just listen to that Ferrari working through turn 3, flat out, the G-forces absolutely crushing the drivers into the seat. Hamilton's car is dancing just on the edge of grip.
Oh wow, Hamilton nearly loses the car. That left rear tyre just kisses the gravel on the exit of turn 9, and that is not a place you want to be making mistakes. The Ferrari snaps sideways, huge correction, and somehow he keeps it pointing in the right direction.
That was millimeter perfect, or millimeter imperfect, depending on how you look at it. If he'd gone another 10 centimeters wider, he'd have been in the gravel trap and bouncing across the runoff. That corner punishes you for overconfidence, and Lewis was right on the ragged edge there.
And sadly, that looks like an engine blow-up for Jack Doohan. Smoke pouring out of the back of the Alpine as he crawls down the straight. And look at this, Charles Leclerc has caught Hamilton. He's dragged Sainz and Alonso with him. It's a full-on 4-car train steaming down the main straight. Leclerc pulls out from the slipstream, DRS wide open, and he repasses Hamilton before turn 1. And now Sainz wants a pious of it too. He's going right around the outside of Hamilton into turn 1. This is brave stuff. Sainz keeps it pinned, holds it through turn 2, and he's got him. Carlos Sainz passes Hamilton as well.
Hamilton is a sitting duck right now. Tyres overheated, rear unsettled, and he's lost 2 places in about 300 meters. And listen to the crowd, because Alonso is sniffing around too. The fans are absolutely loving the Spanish 3-car charge.
But look at this, Hamilton isn't done yet. He's got a fantastic run out of turn 9. Hamilton dives down the inside of Sainz and goes wide, but manages to hold the position, and Sainz has nowhere to go. Great move by the Ferrari driver.
That's a champion's response. He was struggling earlier, but once the tyres cool a little and he picks his moments, he's still an incredibly tough driver to beat. Alonso is now right on Sainz's rear wing. This midfield pack is absolutely electric today.
And Hamilton is pitting. Lewis Hamilton peels off to the right at the end of the lap and heads into the pit lane. That's an early stop, very early for a planned strategy. That might be a response to tyre issues after all those battles with Leclerc and Sainz.
And now, we've got the back of Liam Lawson. The RB driver is struggling for pace, and our car is absolutely flying at the moment. Dar's wide open down the main straight, pulling out from the slipstream, and that is the easiest pass of the afternoon, straight down the outside before they even reach the braking zone.
And you can see from the dash, we are now up into P10 after our pit stop. The undercut is starting to take effect as the rest of the field peels in for their tyre changes. Drivers ahead diving into the pits one by one, and suddenly this race is coming right back towards us.
Sainz and Alonso are both in the pits. The two Spaniards are diving into the lane together, and this is the critical moment. Can we jump them? We're pushing hard on this outlap. Watch the pit exit. Their stops look clean. Williams 2.7, Aston Martin 2.5, but they've got to trundle down that long pit lane while we're flying through the final sector.
What a double undercut! We jump Sainz and Alonso and move up the order. Barcelona native fans are stunned into silence. But what a strategic masterclass that is from the Ferrari team.
And now Charles Leclerc is in. Leclerc rolls into the box, 2.6 seconds, tidy stop from Ferrari, but that pit lane is long and we are absolutely pushing like crazy on this lap.
And we jump Leclerc too. The early stop is working so far. And now Lando Norris is in the pits. We've already jumped Sainz, Alonso and Leclerc. Can we make it a fourth with Norris? 2.9 seconds, not the quickest stop. As Norris leaves the pits, Hamilton has already gone past. That earlier stop is working so far, and Norris now has Leclerc and Sainz to deal with too. we ride on board with the Ferrari, you can see we are now up into P3. What an unbelievable climb through the field after that pit cycle. But this raises a massive strategic question. Do we need to stop again?
Yes, we do need to stop again because Lewis Hamilton has just dived into the pits for his second stop. Ferrari blinking first, pulling the trigger on a two-stop strategy. And that tells you everything you need to know about tyre life today. That's a 2.8 second stop by the Ferrari team.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Okay, let's see what we can do from here. And now here they come. Albon is in, Hulkenberg is in, Gasly is in, Ocon is in. A whole train of cars is diving into the pits for their second stops. This is the moment the whole midfield wakes up, everyone switching to the two-stop. Hamilton, on those fresh tyres, is absolutely flying right now. He's already caught Gabby, and he's going to make light work of this one. Easy pass on fresh tyres.
Sainz makes his stop in the Williams for his second stop, but Hamilton is already well past him on the road. Hamilton's pace is absolutely monstrous. By the time Sainz rolls down the pit lane and rejoins, Lewis is long gone. Lap 28 here in Barcelona, and after the second stop shuffle, we have settled into P6, right behind Oscar Piastri and George Russell. This is the new battle pack now. Russell in the Mercedes, Piastri in the McLaren, and Hamilton tucked right under their rear wings.
And that's a great dive down the inside of George Russell. He wasn't expecting that at all. We line it up perfectly out of turn 9, slipstream, DRS open, and then an absolutely decisive move into turn 10.
Yes, that is textbook. Russell left just a car's width, and our driver commits beautifully, late on the brakes, keeps the car balanced, and slides right down the inside. Russell tries to cut back, but he can't get the traction. That Mercedes is struggling mid-stint, and we've taken full advantage. Next target, Oscar Piastri in the McLaren, just ahead.
Hamilton has so much traction. He passes Piastri on the inside and now powers past Leclerc on the outside. What a move by Hamilton.
Hamilton moves up to P3 with that incredible double move. Leclerc shuffled back, Piastri struggling.
But look at Piastri. He's not giving up on this fight. He's got a great slipstream on the Ferrari, moves to the outside and passes the Ferrari. Great move by the Australian.
Here we are on the last lap of the Spanish Grand Prix. Hamilton has just snatched P3, capping off a phenomenal charge through the field, and what a race we've had today in Barcelona. Let's take you through the story of this incredible Grand Prix. Hamilton started P9 and delivered a strong, strategic race. After an early pit stop, an aggressive undercut sequence let Hamilton jump Sainz, Alonso, Leclerc and Norris, putting Hamilton into P3 after the pit cycle. Hamilton produced a huge charge, including a double overtake on Piastri and Leclerc, and eventually took P3. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you want more F1 content, click on the next video now. See you next time for more Formula 1.
Thanks for watching, guys, and that's a bye from me and JP.